Welcome to my wonderful 1,664 subscribers. We are moving upward and onward, and I am here to inspire, enlighten, and build up humanity. One person at a time, one of you at a time, or 1,664 of you at a time. Whatever works best. Hit that like button and subscribe. And if you'd like to get my help personally, you can contact me at marksinspiration.com is my website, or directly at marksinspirationalguidance. The links are in the description. And if you'd like to donate to the channel, there's Cash App on there and PayPal if you go to my homepage on my channel on YouTube here. Okay, fatherless daughters. I talked about fatherless children today, but I mostly focused on boys. Let me tell you about fatherless daughters. From my dating experience from a long time ago, I dated girls without fathers and I dated girls with fathers. And the girls without fathers were much more promiscuous than the ones with fathers. And the ones that had fathers, I was actually much more respectful of the girl than I was of the ones without fathers. Because when you know there's a dad watching, or there's a dad you have to answer to, or a dad you have to meet, sometimes it makes a lot of difference. My first girlfriend come from a good family. She had a mother and a father, and I dated her for a while before I ever went out there. Man, I didn't want to go out there, but I did, and I ended up getting along with him pretty good, but I was pretty wild. I can imagine what he must have thought of me. But I did respect her more, and I respected their family. But a girl that comes from a stable family with a mother and dad is just a different type of a girl. I've had a lot of fatherless girls attracted to me. Even now, I still have women that are attracted to me that don't have a father. I guess because of my strong personality. My misogynist personality, as some people say, because I'm a traditional man. I believe the man needs to lead. And I think girls without a father are attracted to a man who is a leader. I've been self-employed all my life. I've had several businesses. And I take care of myself. I've taken care of my kids for years by myself. Of course, people help me. I don't do it by myself in that respect, but I haven't had a woman here or a wife. My last ex-wife had a father, but he was kind of an absent father. He had a drinking problem, so he wasn't around that much. But I've made sure with my daughter here, because I have another daughter that I wasn't able to father after she was 6 years old, and now she is, she's a feminist type girl. She has a big resentment against God. I guess she must believe in God if she's angry at God. And that's okay. She believes in the pronouns and all that. And like I said, if that's your thing, that's fine. Now, had she been with me, I probably wouldn't have raised her like that, but she was raised with her single mom, and the stepfather was very passive, and the mother abused him, and it was just a bad situation. But I didn't get to see her after she was 6 years old for many years. Okay, now contrary to that, I have my daughter here who I've raised, except for a year or two when I was split up with her mother. She has been with me. She's 16 now. She's been with me for the last 12 years, or 13 years. And then before that, she was with me the first 2 years of her life, and then maybe there was a year where we weren't together. But I teach my daughter how to be with men. I make her boyfriends come up here and meet me. And I tell her to value herself. If she goes out 304 and around, then she's going to lose her value in the eyes of men. Now, it doesn't change the value of you in the eyes of God. We're all human beings. We all have value. Actually, she's calling me right now. But I'm not going to answer because I'm talking to you guys. So she looks to me for guidance. And I guide her because that is my job. Now, granted, her mother's not here and she misses out on some nurturing times when she needs to talk to a woman about maybe some boyfriend problems she's having, but excuse me, I counsel her the best I can. But as I said in the earlier video, we need both. We need a mother and a father in the home. But statistics show, this is what I heard, you can check this yourself, so I'm not looking at the statistics now, and they can be manipulated, that a child who grows up with a mother and a father in the home is much less likely to have problems and end up in jail. But a child raised up with the father and not the mother is more likely or is less likely to have problems or end up in jail than a child raised up by a single mother. It's just hard for a single mother to discipline kids to be strong enough to lead children. She just can't do it. But now that's not to say she doesn't have other characteristics and traits that are just as valuable in raising children. But it's really hard, especially teenage boys and teenage girls, when they get to be this age, they want to do what they want to do. And they will talk badly to you, and unless you're big enough and man enough to, to lead them, to not tolerate any disrespect, they will just run their own life. And a young woman, and even young men left to their own ways, will destroy their life pretty quickly before they even get to be 20 years old. They need strong guidance. They want strong guidance. Many times they'll want to do something, and the point is to say to you as a father, the daughter or the sons, do you love me enough to stop me from destroying my life? Or do you just let them go and do what they want to do because you don't feel like you have any control? You can't actually control them, but you can guide them. But that takes a strong character to do that, especially with the girls. You've got to be careful who she goes out with, and you have to sit down and have that talk with her about what it's going to do to her if she goes out and sleeps with a bunch of men. It not only mars her reputation, it really lowers her chances of getting a good man, and it lowers her self-esteem. Because every time she sleeps with a man, she feels less about herself. I don't know why that is, but that's just the way it is. As opposed to a man, if he sleeps with a girl, he feels better about himself in most cases. But even a man, if he does it too much, he'll get to where he kind of feels empty also. But it's more detrimental for a woman. I don't know why. Maybe because women are more emotional. They're actually weaker in that area, and I know that's going to piss some women off, but they are. That's why women aren't on the front line of wars. They're not as emotionally strong as men. Well, now men nowadays, we have some really feminine men, so it's getting to where their handshake is as strong, and they're just as strong physically and maybe mentally. I'm not sure, because our masculinity has been attacked, and men are growing up without fathers in the home, and they don't know how to be a man. I experienced that with my daughter. I don't know how many guys she's dated, and they all turn out to be simps. They're weak. They can't lead. They let her walk all over them. And when a woman's trying to walk all over you or disrespecting you, when she starts disrespecting you, what she's telling you is, show me if you're man enough to protect me from other people and from myself. That's what it is. Now, we all fall short of that sometimes. I've been in relationships where I got passive and I became complacent. Okay, wherever you want to go. They don't want you to do that. So you need a man to lead a woman. First, the father. And as it says when you're in the marriage, it says the father gives the daughter to the husband. The father led her until it's time for her to get married. Then he gives her, and that's where the thing comes up with Tate saying they were property. It's not like they're property, but they're a responsibility. My daughter is my responsibility until she marries someone. Then that is his. I hand that responsibility over to that man. So it's my belief when Tate said property, if you listen to the whole thing in context, he meant responsibility. He likes to use words to jank people's chains, and he really does a good job of doing that too. One reason he's became so popular. He says things that just piss people off and they don't like it. But you got to read between the lines. Does he treat women like property? Not as I've seen, but who knows what goes on behind the scenes, right? Okay, time will tell. But that's enough about that. So if you're a father, you need to guide your daughter. Don't leave it up to the wife. Don't leave it all up to her, because she needs you just as much. She needs your strength. She needs your guidance. She needs your masculinity. She's going to try to find a man like you. So would you want your daughter marrying a man like you? If not, then you need to change, because she's going to seek out someone like you, even if there's things you do she doesn't like. That's all I got for tonight. Have a good evening. Thanks for being here. Again, you guys, take care.